So hopefully it's the final cut. The first cut was perfect, but I forgot one book because I had it in a completely different area for no reason whatsoever other than it was just the way I had it. So the comic reviews now are when I review comics from now on. Eventually, I'll get the hang of it. Eventually, I will check out 10 comics at a time rather than 22 from my local library. But for now, it's going to be 22. It's going to be the usual amount I checked out. And that's just because I want so much. I want to check them out all out at the same time. And the way I do it is I have them in certain sets. And the sets, I don't like taking them out and then saving them for later or anything like that. I already had to do that with some of these, and I'm already kind of like, oh, I didn't want to do that, but whatever. And it's not the biggest deal in the world, of course, but it's kind of like, I also want to show these at the same time, too, and not wait even longer to get back on these series. But the way I'm doing these comic reviews is that I can't pack 22 books in my backpack with all the other junk I have in it. It's never usually a whole lot, but still, I don't want to pack 22 comics and have it be 5 pounds heavier than it needs to be. Yeah, I want it to be 1 pound at most. So, I'm going to review, I don't want it to be 4 books at a time, because with 22, it's like 700 videos, and because I am uploading these per week, not per day, but per week, so I have weekly uploads like I always do, and I keep that consistency, then that means I'm going to have like 4 comics to read at a time. This is like 9. That's a good amount. Like looking at it here, yeah, that's a good amount. Those are getting, and I'll probably, if I get the hang of it, or I know I'm going to be uploading a video, like say on this week, like the last week of September, I know I'm going to be uploading a video, then I'll then do 2 videos. The 2 comic reviews will be back to back. But for now, it's just once per week. And I don't think that's a big thing. I think that's a big deal. Because it's kind of how I was doing it back in the day. But instead of it being per day, it's per week. So you guys give more time to watch the videos. But with upcoming video that I will have already uploaded, because this is being uploaded in the future, you will know that sometimes I'll have it what I call a WTF thing. Actually, it's not WTF at this point because it's not uploading on Wednesday. But it's like the God, spit it out. When I have one video uploaded on Wednesday and then one on Thursday, one on Friday, because usually because it's a comic call. That's what we hopefully it's coming in tomorrow at this time. Right now it's Wednesday the 4th. Yes, the 4th. But anyways, let's go on with it. The book that I forgot about, and I don't know how, but this is The Devil's Red Bride by Sebastian Girner. This was when I went into completely blind, and I'm glad I did because I came out with this really enjoying it. It is kind of all over the place, but in the sense that I think on a reread, I'll understand even more, and so on and so forth. So each time I read it, I'll understand more and more, and that is a good, and I'll want to read it again and again, and that is the sign that that comic was really, really good, because it leaves you wanting more and coming back for more, in the sense of rereading it. 8 out of 10. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Found out the hard way that this is Star Wars. It's the whatever. This is the kids' version of the graphic novel adaptations. So what Star Wars did is they had the ones from Marvel. They have a one from Marvel. It's Rogue One. That's the one I wanted technically. I mean, I didn't care which one I got. I guess you could say, but I thought that this is written by Gary Whitta. There's actually no credits page whatsoever. They just do the credits page of the artwork. So I guess it's just written by the writers of the movie. And that's why my library didn't know who wrote it when they put it in for the interlibrary loan. But this is very generic for kids. You know, they do try and make it a little bit mature for kids. You know, they don't sugarcoat too much. But I can't even remember what they sugarcoated and what happened in this book. It's instantly forgettable. I almost dropped this book. None I recommend. 3 out of 10. He-Man and the Forge of Destiny. Instantly forgettable book. Also, 3 out of 10. I remember a little bit from it, but honestly, as Tim Seeley books go, because I didn't completely hate it, it's a really good Tim Seeley comic. But I don't like anything Tim Seeley has written, so that's like saying, oh, my favorite dish of, I don't know, like, my favorite torture device is this, you know? I'm not trying to say that. It's moving on. I'm prattling on. I like to prattle on and be like, this is what I mean by when I say this. No, don't explain what you're saying. They know what you're saying. Black Canary. This is the Brendan Fletcher run. See, when I do that, I get distracted. So Black Canary Volume 2. And this one at the end, it does have, because this is the end of the Black Canary run, and at the end of the, what they call it, the Convergence. Because it was New 52, Convergence, then Rebirth. At the end of the Convergence books that started with New 52, they would always give you the first issue of the next series for Rebirth. And this one was the Birds of Prey. I have read that one several times. It's actually Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. I've read that several times, and I really do enjoy that run. But I want to return this book sooner rather than later, and I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna read this anyways. So hopefully, along with rereading Riddler Year One, I'll also be rereading Black Canary, Birds of Prey. I just wanted to kind of like do like a little, because I know, because technically I did show it off. I wasn't gonna do another video of like, oh, here's the comics we're reading for the next few weeks. Only two new ones are Riddler and Birds of Prey. No, I'm just gonna show it off. It's this one, and then it'll be the first volume of Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Because I figured, I'm gonna be reading that anyways, so I won't count it as, I won't read it here. I'll read it on the actual trade. In the actual trade, I don't know why they do that. honestly. I kind of don't understand. Like, you're gonna get the trade anyway, so you want more Batman, you want more of this series. Yeah, okay, if you go by authors like I do, but still, I don't know. But yeah, I like this. Sorry, I think I just say how I felt about this book at all, and just prattled on about stupid bullshit. I do like this Black Canary run. Like with Tim Seeley, Brendan Fletcher is not my favorite writer. I do like more Brendan Fletcher books than I do like Tim Seeley books, but all in all, I just consider his stuff to be very annoying. Like, his Batgirl run is one of the worst Batgirl runs, not just Batgirl runs, but one of the worst comic runs I've ever read. The just complete faceplant that run takes after Gail Simone's criminally underrated and overhated run is, like, criminal. You have Gail Simone's run, which is very mature and very Batgirl. It felt like it was its own thing. It felt like, yes, it still felt like it was part of the Bat family. It still felt like people who like Batman would like, and then like the moodiness and the gloom, the doom and gloom of Batman, but wants to be a little bit more lighthearted, like only a little bit, would go to Batgirl and get their fix there. But then Brendan Fletcher's run is basically the DC Superhero Girls version of Batgirl. Honestly, I would not be surprised if this is a huge ass game theory, and it's not. I don't think it's actually happened. It's more of a joke, but that he had a script for the DC Superhero Girls Batgirl, and then he found out that no, you're not writing that Batgirl. You're writing Convergence post new to the mainstream Batgirl. And he didn't know that, and it was the last minute, and he was like, you know what, just give him this, and then he went from there. That's my game theory as to why it took such a huge faceplant. Like, it's very noticeable, too, especially in the artwork. Like, everything takes a huge-ass faceplant. But his Black Canary run, I think, is very solid. It's not even, like, I don't know if there was any Black Canary before this. I think, like with Midnighter, it was just kind of like, oh, she's in Birds of Prey, so read that, then read this. But even then, I don't know. Like, I think you can just start with this. But this is very good. Obviously, start with Volume 1. But this is pretty good. Like, I definitely a 6 out of 10. Solid book, nothing too groundbreaking, but investing throughout, at the very least. And that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. When I give something a 6 out of 10, I'm saying at the very least it kept my interest. I wasn't like a page turner or anything, but it kept my interest. That's what a 6 out of 10 is for me. But something like this, Star Wars Allegiance, I think is above average. And especially when considering it to be like, considering that this is the sequel trilogy continuity, this is well above average. But I'm going to judge it as a book, as a comic itself, as a Star Wars comic itself, and it's still above average. 7 out of 10. If it's a solid story. And again, kind of not too terribly forgettable, but it does prove that Ethan Sacks is a very underrated writer. Ethan Sacks also wrote Old Man Hawkeye, which is, you read Old Man Logan. It's a prequel to that comic run, and I also really like that one. I want to say I read the first volume, but I'm gonna be reading it very soon here, because I want to. I really do. I really do want to. But very soon here may mean months from now or weeks from now. I don't know. Loki the Liar is one of those examples of books that I reread because I reread because I wanted to give it a second chance, and I'm glad I did. I did come out with this one enjoying it a lot more. Oh yeah, also 7 out of 10. I already said that, but 7 out of 10 for the Star Wars book. But still, like a 5.5 out of 10. Like only like a little bit above it. I would maybe say 6 out of 10, but there were times in this book that I was kind of waiting for. I was kind of counting how many issues we had, pages we had left. Not issues, pages we had left of the issue. But I'll say 6 out of 10. I'll be generous and say 6 out of 10. But this is a book I can tell, like, each time I read it, the score will go up. I don't think it'll ever go above a 7 out of 10, so basically this is how I feel about it. But I think, I would say 5 out of 10. 5.5. I would say 5.5 out of 10 for Loki. Planet of the Apes is one of those books I reread because I really enjoy it. This, along with I haven't finished this the 400th time, but I've read this 399 times before, so I'm going to feel the same way as I did, is still going to feel the same way I did the previous times. But this and this are like your quintessential must-read Planet of the Apes comics. If you have seen the prequels and you like the Planet of the Apes, or you're just interested in Planet of the Apes comics in general, I would say go no further than here. You got the Boom Studios, Gabriel Hardman, Omnibus, and you got this, the recent Marvel run written by David F. Walker. Both are fantastic. I would say this is more so than this, but it's just because there's just more, and I think Gabriel Hardman has the best. He knows what pacing is. He studied the word pacing, and he uses his knowledge of what pacing is and how to have good pacing, and he just throws it into his comics. Like, just really has his damn good pacing. Again, PP, perfect pacing. For both books, honestly. Like, both books never lost interest in either book. This one I give an 8 out of 10. The Planet of the Apes, I'm not bringing it technically because I haven't finished it, so I won't give it an out of 10. But this is an 8 out of 10 book. Must read. Along with Clobberin' Time by Steve Scrosay. If you know Steve Scrosay, those who know Steve Scrosay will know that he is a very strange writer. He has a lot of just WTF artwork, and is very out there and outlandish, and so are his stories. They're very outlandish, and fantasy is his strong suit, basically, and so is sci-fi, over the top, that kind of thing. Not completely over the top, but still there is still some sense of they are still grounded in some sort of reality, but they're definitely nonsensical in the best way possible. But if you know Steve Scrosay, you probably already know what I'm talking about. So if you like Steve Scrosay, you'll love this. And if you want to know who Steve Scrosay is, and if you are interested based off my review of this comic, I'd say this is worth checking out. This is also what we should support too. This is it's a recent Marvel trade, 5 issues, $15.99. That's what it used to be back in the day, but now it's like $17.99 for a book like this. Like this one right here is Loki the Liar. This is 4 issues. Oh, no, never mind. Let's take it back. I thought this was $17.99, but it's not. It's $15.99. But I just think people should. Good example. This is 5 issues. This is $20. This is a Planet of the Apes tax, apparently. I want to say it's at least around the same page length, but this is $20 and this is $16. So again, I do like supporting comics that have better pricing and are just all around better books. So whenever that happens, I always want to give a huge shout out to the pricing. Nowadays, at least. But yeah, Clobberin' Time, well worth checking out. 8 out of 10. Then Max Ride by Marguerite Bennett. This was indeed the comic I was thinking of when I said, "Oh, I read the issue 2, and I really liked it, and always wanted to read the entire series." I finally did, and it was well worth the wait. It wasn't one of those books that I spent many sleepless nights wondering what was that Max Ride comic book adaptation? Who was that book written by? And can I find it in my libraries? Can I find my library's copy? No, it was just a book that I remembered when I was looking up Margaret Bennett books to check out, and I found this one. This is well worth it. Since James Patterson here was actually written by Margaret Bennett. The original novels are written by James Patterson. And even then, it's co-authored by someone else. And James Patterson is a huge ass ghostwriter, so he doesn't write his own books, and thus it's always a co-author. But solid book. If you like those like misfit books, misfit superhero runaways kind of titles, don't expect to be as good as Brian K. Vaughan's original Runaways run, but do expect something that's gonna be decent and keep your interest. 7 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. No, I would say 7. I would say 7 out of 10. But that is it. I've gone on for long enough. I read all the books. I did it all in one take. Well, not all in one take, but no interruptions. We're good. I can upload this cut now. 20 years down the line. But that is it.